You are offered $10 million if you can name a food that nobody in human history has ever used in a sexual way. What is your answer? Bullet. If I'm wrong, just go ahead and keep that to yourself, please. Well, people use it to improve libido. Or so I've heard. Not sure if that counts. People say that about every awful food. It's like an instant sales boost. This tastes awful. Well, that's because it's full of PP up. I'll take your whole stock then, please. Bitter herbs from Pokemon, I would imagine, are sold the same way. I just searched what bullet was and I feel like never eating again. Well, Rule 34 of the internet says it's impossible. Only for modern foods, or foods we can picture though, yeah? I give you. We know it's a food, obviously it's in the Bible, but it's actually all over the ancient world. It was used as medicine, food, poultice, crap was definitely a thing in the ancient world, but for thousands of years we lost just what, exactly, it was. Was it a lichen? Tree sap? Beetle crap? All are equally plausible. Now I guess it's possible that 4,000 years ago some sandy-ass people in the desert went out in the morning and collected droplets of sap along with the morning dew, and when they finally gathered enough to mold it into a cake and have their one meal of the day thought, F it, let's F the wife with this, but that doesn't seem terribly plausible, especially since they literally thought it was given to them each morning directly by the hand of God and it was a divine object. I mean, obviously we'd sexualize the F out of it today if we knew what it was. But we don't. Edit. I'm aware that Wikipedia prefers manna and that made it hard to look up. I did provide the link this time though. Web link. Carl, Greenland shark meat is poisonous when fresh, so in Iceland, they behead the shark and then bury it in a sandpit covered by rocks to get rid of the poison. The shark then ferments for 6 to 12 weeks before being dug up, cut into strips and hung out to dry for up to 5 months in a barn. And even then it's so saturated in ammonia that it automatically triggers your gag reflex if you haven't weaned it to it. This sounds like the exact type of thing some sick F is using in a fetish. Some sick F is using in a fetish. I have a name, you know. Not anymore. Name privileges revoked. Sick F. Yes, mistress. We can't beat him. Everything we say is just another fetish he has. So don't beat him. In fact, do normal vanilla sex stuff with him. He's probably so desensitized it'll be torturous to him. Another one of his kinks. Jesus, this never ends. How desperate for food are they? Well, we're out of berries, better kill this poisonous shark and wait 6 months. I think someone ate an old buried shark once out of hunger madness and was like, hey, this isn't so bad. From what I understand, it is so bad. People often say it's the worst thing they've ever smelled/eaten. It tastes like urine. So if you happen to have a piss fetish and need a socially safe way of enjoying it with your family, I think I'd start eating my toenails before I'd go through all of that effort for poison shark rot. They do it on Iceland. The shark they use is called Greenland shark in English. The real puzzler here is how the F they figured out that burying the shark for 6 weeks would make it safe rather than make it effing rot. 1. Fisher eats fresh shark - dies. 2. Another fisher throws away catch after watching his fisher friend. Famine conditions exist 6 months later - desperate hungry fisher eats his catch and doesn't die from hunger or poison. New bleachy delicacy born. Yup, that crap tastes like bleach. Everyone's going for stuff that's gross and disgusting. These people clearly have no idea how fetishes work. The right answer is something boring and innocuous, but not so boring and innocuous that its blandness is notable. I'm thinking maybe kale. Edit. I'm torn. I really just want to say RIP inbox and move on, but I can't bear the thought of missing out on all the juicy vegan Rule 34 in there. I'm thinking an obscure health cereal from Whole Foods, like Nature Path Organic Heritage Flakes. First, you got to not be poor to be buying awful and expensive healthy cereal, which means you can afford sex toys. Then you got to be old and responsible to be that health conscious. If you were going to F whole grain cereal, you had 50 years to figure out why it's a bad idea. And finally, cereal hasn't been around long, especially if you go brand specific. The odds of some old-time desperation happening are non-existent. Less time, less chance. Nature's Path Organic Heritage Flakes, final answer. Well, give me 45 minutes and I'll make you a liar. Jesus. Cereal bars make so much more sense now. Especially when they use terminology like web link. It's currently been 36 minutes, so I can only assume this guy is balls deep in some organic cereal as I'm typing this. For a healthier breakfast, try adding nuts. Is that milk in your cereal, or are you just happy to see me? New man. Go even more boring. Dehydrated food biscuits. Edit, I was talking about ration packs, not salted crackers. The specific banana in my hand has never been used in a sexual way. So I'll take my money then shove it up my ass. That you know of. That's how they turn brown overnight. How about one of those super expensive dishes that only a handful of people in the world have ever eaten? Like that pizza that's made with gold flakes. I don't think pizza would be hard enough. That's okay, pizza. It happens to everyone now and again. Edit, thank you for the awards. Of course, my most upvoted comment of all time is about pizza impotence, haha. It's not a big deal, it happens to lots of pies. I wriggled a whole Jack's pizza into my anus. It was culturally satisfying, and it was quite easy after I trained myself to not scream out sobs of terror. In Soviet Russia, crust stuffs you. I missed 10 seconds ago when I hadn't read these words in this particular arrangement. What a good time it was. 2 words, pizza fleshlight. Also known as calzone. Artificially duplicated steak. It's steak that grows in a lab and doesn't require a cow. It's essentially vegan because it's never been alive and no animals were involved. It's expensive as F though, and I think there's only like 3 real pieces of it that exist. Nowadays it costs about $50 and it's not that hard to produce, so I guess there are more than 3 pieces that exist. Web link. I think crazy rich people use this food precisely sexual way. I choose to believe that those privileged few who can indulge in those luxuries do so first and foremost by thrusting their dicks into the meal before attempting to enjoy it conventionally. Surströmming. I like my pussy like I like my surströmming. Fermented and smells like death. I feel like having to read this comment was God's punishment for me asking the question in the first place. I did have some other ideas, but this was the best one. It has been 5 months since I joined Reddit. Since then, not a single day has passed by where I don't feel like resetting my brain. Never smelt it, but witnessing it on bad unboxing was more than enough to know I never want to. Open the can in a bucket of water, outdoors. And don't eat a whole thing like it's normal herring. It's like Marmite. You can't use it like Nutella. It's too strong. Got to spread that crap thin, man. If I have to open the food submerged in water to prevent a god-awful smell, I think I'll have to pass. If you open the food without it being submerged in water, you very well may pass. And bloody use it with other stuff. It's just a really salty fish, it needs complementary items. It's like eating an onion raw, you don't do that, and you add stuff. Edit, I've been informed that some crazy people do eat onions just as is, most likely because they're nuts. So I guess I'll say that it's kind of like eating raw chicken. You can do it, but it's not the smartest, best nor tastiest way to do it. People do eat onions raw, like it were an apple. And not to be edgy or anything. Look it up. I like that video of that kid eating a raw onion, just powering through pretending it's delicious even though by their face you can tell they aren't enjoying it. Somehow, I think the more disgusting it is, the more likely that someone somewhere has a fetish dealing with it. Cambodian crispy tarantulas. The only spider effing I see are anime spider girls or ancient Greeks jerking it to Arachne. But what if a dom uses a spider as part of bondage sex with their sub, and arachnophobia with a fear boner? But has it been deep fried first? I mean, why not? Everything gets better when you deep fry it. Even existential dread? Well, I don't think you can deep fry your existential crisis. However, I would argue that it will get way better once you have a bucket of deep fried chicken sitting in front of you. Existential derives from deep-seated fear or trauma, which could stem from an experience with another person during an incident. You can symbolically deep fry that person. Or just deep fry them for real. I'm scared to click on the video. But there is tarantula bondage on Pornhub. Find at your own risk. I think a fairly safe answer would be NASA's dehydrated space rations. Not because people wouldn't, but because of A, how uncommon it is, and B, nobody wants to be the astronaut caught doing things to his freeze-dried carbonara by someone they need to live in a tube with for the next 3 months. I think you won. Plus you don't want to have your other crewmates finding your floating spider web. I think it'd be more like one of those Spider-Man web balls that he shoots people with, you know, surface tension and micro-G and all. Doesn't ejaculate fly out at like 35 miles per hour? How would the semen ball maintain cohesion? For another matter, how far back do you think an astronaut can nut himself? Will we one day have nut-propelled propulsion? So many questions. Someone could really do the math based on averages. I'm at work though, so I can't dedicate that sort of time. Someone, please calculate the delta V for an average male's cum shot in space. Edit, average volume of butt, 3.7 milliliters. Average mass of nut? Average speed of nut, 16 meters per second. Weight of man, say, 72 kilograms. I'm also at work, so I can't exactly Google cum shot speed without IT looking at me funny. At least not more so than usual. Please, sir. Is for science. Brother, they probably get bored as F up there. I'd be surprised if they aren't constantly having freeze-dried carbonara orgies. Edit, y'all are really hung up on the boner in space thing. There's plenty of orgy fun to be had without an erection. This better not awaken anything in me. Too late. Beanlicious. They absolutely don't get bored up there. Most astronaut schedules are absolutely jammed-packed with running experiments, performing maintenance, exercising, etc. My partner works as a ground crew scientist who runs experiments side by side with the astronauts, and has the full logs of the astronaut schedules. I know you were probably just making a joke, but I've talked with a lot of people who tell me that they don't actually know what astronauts do. That's just a cover story to keep the carbonara orgies on the down low. Zero gravity is either absolutely awesome for sex or a complete buzzkill. Seems like thrusting would be a lot of excess work, not to mention floating into things or having to be uncomfortably strapped down. I feel like it would have to be a lot more legs wrapped around each other with grinding motion, than doggy-style Pound Town. Spinning yin-yang 69s would be pretty rad though. Also, as far as the strapping down goes, well, plenty of people are into that on Earth. I feel like the disorientation and uncertain feeling of zero-G would be an added bonus for the bondage crowd. NASA's new recruitment campaign is really going to take us on a wild ride, isn't it? My favorite thing about this thread is reading the responses proving people wrong. It's perfect for jokes on you, I'm into that crap. And also jokes on you, I put that into my craper. Is there a sub for people putting obscure things up their ass? If not, please nobody create one. r/obscure things up in asses, Reddit link. Whom has awakened the ancient one? Dr. Janitor. Exactly. Go deeper into this thread and you will find someone who has effed a cactus. I have come to the conclusion that a good portion of food produced is not wasted, it's just shoved up some person's butthole. The sacred potato. Easy. Grape nut cereal. I looked it up. Call it Gape and Nut cereal. Edit, my inbox is getting flooded with people who somehow weren't expecting to see porn. So for the people at work or whatever, I'll save you a click. A girl is sitting on her back with her ass up. They've got her buttholes stretched open and have poured Fruit Loops and milk in it. A guy and a girl take a spoon and eat the cereal from the girl's ass. It looks really uncomfortable and gross, but they're all laughing about it. And so am I, honestly. It's such a hilariously bizarre video. Certified Hood Classic. Web link. Jesus effing Christ, need some bleach for my eyes. Yeah, that didn't look comfortable at all, laughing my butt off. r/eye bleach. F. Reddit link. I intensely regret hitting the link and then watching the entire video. Twice. Unfortunately, sir, you are mistaken. Don't ask me how I know. Let's hear it. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.